what I just can't stand is like everyone's dragging Hurts today, and it's like, yes, in theory, do I want to see him play better? Of course I do.
Yeah.
Is he going to have to throw the ball in order for them to win a Super Bowl? Is he gonna have to throw it better? Probably. But like again, this is how Philadelphia plays, man. And he's not Josh Allen. He's not Joe Burrow. And I don't give a damn if he's not Josh Allen or Joe Burrow.
The time to look at little things, or look at not even little things, look at aspects of the game and be worried and be unhappy, be like, oh, this is a problem, going to be a problem. We need to get this fixed. Otherwise we can't win a Super Bowl. That's great when you're a great team during the regular season. Eagles fans could have done that. Once you're in the playoffs, who cares? Just win the game. You're now
I
2 wins away from
more.
getting.
Yeah.
Sports and culture all in one. Catch the fire, feel the fun. Andrew, Sistad, Brad unite. Philly and Y in the spotlight.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 22. The Philadelphia Eagles are advancing to the NFC Divisional Round. Congrats, dude.
Thanks. You too. You won your bet.
No, I didn't win my bet yet.
You're kidding. Oh, you had a parlay going.
I have one leg left. I did a 6-game parlay, all 6 games. I just had the Vikings money line tonight.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I guess they weren't really too hard to predict. Although the Texans game, I think a lot of people thought the Chargers would win.
I did. We want to focus on the Eagles this episode. It's pretty much going to be an exclusive Eagles episode. But real quickly, most people probably don't care about my bet. But yeah, I did Texans plus 4.5. And then I did a bunch of favorite money lines, and then Washington money line, and then
wow,
that's it.
Yeah, so pretty impressive.
Hopefully,
hopefully
the Vikings win.
I was going to say, I actually hope that you lose your bet now, but anyway, we can talk about that after.
We're definitely going to talk about who you want to face because we're recording this right about 40 minutes before the game starts. So we're definitely going to talk about who you want to face between the Vikings and the Rams.
Okay.
And I'm going to question you on why you prefer either of them over the Bucs, but we'll talk about that as well.
Sure.
We're going to get into this game. If for some reason you don't know, Eagles won 22-10. The defense was amazing. The offense struggled, as the score would suggest. Where do you want to start? You want to start with the defense?
Sure. Yeah.
I think we should start with the defense just because that's the more positive aspect and probably the one that's more inspiring and exciting for you.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's pretty fair to say.
I think when I'm watching this game,
the defense once all year, but
for several weeks you haven't though. Actually, no, you did against Washington that one game.
Yeah,
you did a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I thought. Yeah. All right.
We didn't do a pod after that game though, so yeah. Yeah.
So Nolan Smith, huge game, 2 sacks, right?
Yep.
Monster.
2
Jalen
sacks,
Carter,
couple tackles for loss.
Yep.
Jalen Carter continuing his dominant run, selected to the All-Pro team and showing exactly why last night. Just game record. Awesome. He does it. He's extremely consistent. Does it every game, play in, play out. Plays a very high percentage of the snaps. He's awesome.
It's also noticeable on plays where he's not getting a tackle or not getting a sack, where he's being doubled. The attention that he draws and the impact that he has on the rest of the defense. He's really a really special player.
Definitely. Yep.
Yeah. Zach Bond.
Bond, another great game. Had an interception where he undercut a route. Looked like Love didn't see him, but still, right place, right time.
I don't know what Love was looking at on that throw, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, but still, right place. He always seems to be in the right spot, whether it's to make a big tackle, sack. Obviously, he had the pick. He's deflecting balls. He's forcing fumbles. So he's another All-Pro selection for this defense.
Talk about interception. We got some guys with their first interception of the season.
Yeah. Did you know that last night was actually the first 2 times that a cornerback for the Eagles had an interception all year?
I
It's been
saw that.
all
Yeah,
safeties and
that's crazy.
linebackers. Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's crazy too
Well, Kenyon
considering
Mitchell deserves it. He's had an amazing rookie season and
yeah,
deserves the interception on the box score.
for sure. Especially he's gotten close a couple times this year. But yeah, same with Slay. Slay's always in and around the ball and always has a knack for big interceptions, and that was his first one of the year. So it was really nice to see him get back on track. But yeah, defense as a whole is just
Incredible.
they're just awesome, man. They're just
All
so
three
much
phases.
they're just so much fun to watch. And if Philadelphia loves anything about their football team, it's when they just have a really hard-nosed defense and they're so physical and they're so fast and nasty and they tackle and they rally to the ball, they force fumbles, they do everything like so by the book.
Mhm.
And like I said, they're just so fast and they're so much fun to watch.
Yeah, they're really well balanced on all three levels. That's what I like about it. They're not dependent on the secondary. They're not overly dependent on the pass rush. They have all three. I
Absolutely.
mean,
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a good way to put it. But one of the things that just like really fired me up the most about the game is, man, like they knocked a couple Packers out of the game yesterday, and like just from hitting them, like they weren't dirty hits, like they just came in
you got
and would
fired up
like
by the injuries.
pop
That's good.
somebody. What'd you say?
You got fired up by seeing the other team hurt. That's good.
I was getting fired up just because these guys are just getting
Yeah,
their
he's hurt.
clocks.
Yeah.
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't it, but
Get out of Philly.
it was like, God damn, you just got smacked, and like, oh, Nolan
Yeah, no, I
Smith
see what you're
just
saying.
broke your shoulder, like just because he came at you so hard, and they're just so physical. And same thing with I think Blankenship in the third quarter just knocked Jaden Reed out of the game. Looks like he broke his arm. I don't know. I don't even know what happened to the Packers, but they left the game and they didn't come back. So
They came in injured and they got more injured.
yeah, for sure. But again, a lot of that was just the physicality of the Eagles.
Yeah.
They were the bullies, and they pushed them around, specifically defensively. They pushed them around all night, and it was really good to see. So I'm super excited. They're really humming right now, and if they continue to play defense like this, then they can go and win themselves a Super Bowl. That's how good their
I
defense
agree
has
with that. They didn't give up much. Really, the first two drives of the game for the Packers is really their only two good drives. Unless I'm forgetting maybe
No,
one
you're
in the second half.
forgetting. Yeah, they scored a touchdown in the second half to cut it to.
Oh,
It
that's
was
right. That's
yeah.
right. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
But
Oh
even
yeah, it
that
was a
was just like a
6 point game with
couple
them.
of
Yeah.
yeah. But even that was just like a couple of monster Josh Jacobs runs, and he was awesome yesterday. But it's
Yeah.
so funny. So at one point, so he got hurt. Obviously, towards the end of the
Yeah,
game, and it was
Yeah.
so funny too because I don't know how closely you were paying attention to the broadcast, but so Tom Brady was kind of alluding to the fact that like it's weird, this like dance that Tom Brady has to do because he can't really like bash anybody because he's the owner of the Raiders. So like I think he has to be like really careful with what he says. But he was basically saying that Josh Jacobs looked like he was the only one that was trying out there. Like he kept
Oh, I heard
saying
that.
like he kept
He
saying,
was
"Oh,
saying
Jacobs came to play," but
Jacobs and he was saying one other player on the Packers. I forgot who it was. He was saying it was Jacobs and I forgot who it was, but he was saying one other player on the Packers, like
oh,
they're playing with aggressiveness, and then no one else
right,
was like they're all
yeah,
like,
yeah. But what was funny though, so not funny, but the play that Jacobs got hurt on. And they really missed him after that because they had a couple like third and shorts, fourth and shorts
yeah,
that
they
they gave
needed
to
him.
their backup
It was
running back.
huge.
Yeah, for sure. But so the play that he got hurt, he was going out of bounds, and instead of going out of bounds, he kind of cut back in for an extra like 4 yards or so, and he ended up getting hurt on that play, seemingly because he fought for the extra yards. And like as they're going through the replay, Brady's like, "Yeah, look at that! Like this guy wants to win. He could have just taken out of bounds, could have just stepped out of bounds, but he's fighting for that extra yards. He's saying this is playoff football. Let's go!" And then he didn't return
Yeah,
for the rest of the game. So
that's fun. That is kind of funny.
yeah,
So 4 turnovers. I think it's almost hard to remember how the game started. Like when I'm thinking back about it, there was that opening kickoff return fumble.
yeah,
That
that
was
was huge,
huge.
huge tone
Yeah.
setter. I mean, they really, who knows? Again, the Eagles struggled so much offensively that who knows where they would have been without that opening kickoff return or kickoff. recovery. And the nice thing about that is that one thing I was reading a lot over the course of the week, that a focus that they had all week was kickoff coverage. Reason being because what is his name? Is his name Nixon, the returner for the Packers?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's been the first team all pro kick returner for the past 2 years. So he's really good. They really made an emphasis on, hey, we got to contain this guy. We got to hit him hard. We got to stop them. And yeah, first play of the game, Ornbergs comes down, pops him in the mouth. They fumble. And just a huge break for the Eagles. They score on a 3-play drive.
Did you think that was going to get overturned?
So part of me did. I personally would have overturned it, but I've just seen over the years like that kind of play out, and I specifically remember, like, I don't know what else you have to do other than like to show that you clearly recovered the fumble. I remember specifically a few years ago, the Eagles were in Dallas, and same thing, opening kickoff for the game, and the Eagles had recovered it, and I was like, it's so clear and obvious that they recovered this, but they didn't give it to him. So I was like, I don't know. Like, I thought that it should have been Green Bay's ball, but I think the way that they call those plays specifically, the clear recovery, it's just, yeah, it takes a lot of evidence to overturn.
I agree.
This.
I think there's a difference between, and this is kind of what you're alluding to, is kind of what you're saying, is that I agree. Like sounds like you think that should be Packers ball, but the way that they call it, it should be Eagles ball. But it shouldn't be called. The NFL shouldn't rule out those. You shouldn't just be able to do whatever you want there and get the ball. But if you have possession and there's two hands on you, you're down. You have the ball. But it's a different set of rules than anything else in football.
Yep. Yeah, so that was huge. Again, who knows where they end up without that play? And I actually think that the way that they started kind of had a lot to do with the rest of the game, how it played out. I think that they were playing pretty conservatively from that point. So I'm actually, I don't know if you want to jump into the offense. There's a couple more things to touch on defensively, but
I think before we get into the offense, let's talk about the negative, the concern about the defense.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's Nakobe Dean going down for sure. Really, really sucks. Everything that you read about Dean is that he's awesome guy, awesome teammate, and he's had so this is the third year of his career. Pretty disappointing first 2 years, but it was mostly because of injuries. Yeah. So he finally has a healthy season, finally puts it all together, and he's had a really, really good year. And this is a guy that's, unfortunately for him, he's certainly, he happens to be teammates with the first team all-pro linebacker in Zach Bond. So he's definitely gotten overshadowed, but man, really, really good year for him. The thing that hurts the most for the defense, and I think the backup Ornbergs can play a little bit. He actually played in the Super Bowl last year after it was Greenlaw. Remember Greenlaw got hurt in the Super Bowl last year, and this was the guy who came in and didn't play that well, but still tough situation to come into.
He's a curse.
Yeah, exactly. No, but he can at least play. He's serviceable out there. But yeah, the thing about Dean is that he's the green dot for the defense. So he is receiving the play call. He's getting everybody set up. He's doing all the communicating, and he makes his money because he's a very smart football player. He's not the biggest, most athletic guy in the world. He's not a very good coverage linebacker. But what he is great at is seeing a play develop, diagnosing it on the fly, and playing downhill. And there's been so many instances over this year, and even yesterday, I think he had a couple of these where like he could see a screen coming from behind the line of scrimmage, and he just beelines. And he's a really good tackler. So he had a lot of huge TFLs over the course of the year. And just his smarts, the way that he plays the game, he's again, he doesn't rely on his athleticism. It's all brains and where do I have to be, what's coming next, and he was putting himself in really good positions to succeed all year. And specifically his tackling, I think that's going to be the biggest thing that they miss from him. The biggest drop off from him to Ornbergs is going to be the tackling. He's also a really good run stopper. So I think they're going to miss him a lot.
Loss.
It's a huge loss. I think
I'm not saying that it could be one player is not going to make or break the defense. They can overcome it, Actually, I was going to ask you though. So, what did you call it? I thought it was called the Mike linebacker when he received the person who receives the plays and relays the plays to the defense.
Yeah,
What did you
so
call it?
it's I called it the green dot because the
The
guys who
green
do
dot.
that, like the quarterback and the middle linebacker, have a green
They
dot
have the
on their
on the
helmet.
yeah, on the helmet. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and that indicates I have the headset and I'm receiving the plays. So
So who does
um,
that now? It's not going to be like
it's going to be Bond. It's going to be Bond.
okay, it's going to be
Yeah.
Bond. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Is there any
Yeah.
questions about how that impacts his play? There's another
I
responsibility there.
I don't think so. Maybe I'm sure that that's going to be a big point of emphasis for them during practice this week, but I don't think so. I mean, he looked pretty comfortable out there. You could see him calling the plays. I guess time will tell. Again, Packers were pretty banged up. They didn't really have a ton of options, a ton of things to like be diagnosing pre-snap. But yeah, he seemed to do an all right job. And to your point, yeah, I think that they have enough talent and they're playing well enough to where Burks won't have to do as much as he would on maybe another team because he's surrounded by so much talent and
Yeah,
guys that can kind of cover up for his deficiencies.
I agree completely. It's not a good loss, but it's something they can overcome. There could be a lot worse losses on that
Yeah,
defense.
yeah. If it's Jalen Carter or Quinyon Mitchell, like then we'd be in real trouble. But
Changes,
yeah,
yeah, exactly, yeah.
yeah, yep. It doesn't
And
change
so,
the dynamic of their defense. It's just, hey, this guy's not as good of a tackler, probably not as smart as the guy in front of him.
real quickly into Kobe Dean, torn patellar tendon could be in jeopardy to beginning of next season. Definitely beginning of like training camp. Definitely will be out of OTAs and things like that. We're not worried about that right now, but that
No,
sucks for him.
it really sucks for him. And again, he's a great dude, and he's part of that Georgia Bulldog defense. And yeah, it just sucks. This was like a contract year for him. Again, he had finally
Yeah.
put it together. Was having a really good year. Just sucks for him. Sucks for the team. Hopefully they can just rally around it. And continue to play well.
Yep. All right. So the offense. Obviously, I want to get your take, but let me just say something real quickly about this offense. I had a same game parlay separate from my bigger like 6-leg
No.
parlay.
Okay.
I had Bucks under. I'm not Bucks. Packers. Sorry, blanking on it. Under like 24.5 points. So obviously I hit that easily.
Mm-hmm.
I had Saquon over 100 rushing yards, and I had
Okay.
Eagles money line. And then the fourth parlay, the same game parlay, I added at the last second to make it like instead of like $20 to win like 200.
Oh
I mean, I
my
had to make
God.
it, had to go big. Had $20 to win like 400 or 600, whatever. Had to make the odds bigger. AJ
Hurts.
Brown 5+ receptions.
That sucks.
Where was AJ Brown other than reading a book?
Yeah, AJ Brown was not didn't really look like he was part of the game plan as much. He was nursing something. They had been kind of sketchy about it.
Knee injury? Was it a
Yeah,
knee?
so he had left apparently last Wednesday. He had left practice like 5 minutes in. He was seen leaving with the trainer, and the team basically said, "No, this is all part of the plan. We're resting him. We're getting him right." Then he doesn't practice on Thursday,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
not
on
part of the plan.
Friday, yeah, well, right. Then on
That's
Friday,
just
he's
not
a full
wanting to. That's just not wanting to give away your decoy.
right. Who knows? On Friday,
Sounds
he
like
was a full participant in practice. So, and he said like after practice that he is dealing with something that's knee related. He's been dealing with it for a while. So maybe he was a little bit banged up. Maybe he aggravated something. But yeah, just looked a little out of sync. I thought that the play calling was a little weird at times. Like didn't really seem like a fluid game plan at all. And I definitely think Hertz was off a little bit. I think he
yeah.
was.
No, I think that's what it was.
That's the biggest factor. Which I'm actually not like a lot of people in Philadelphia are freaking out because of the passing offense. I'm actually not like at all concerned about it.
What's their concern?
Their
They
concern is that the
they
passing game didn't look good,
and you're
and
gonna
that
have
Hertz
to
didn't look good.
pass really well to win a Super Bowl, or
Yes,
is that the concern?
that's the concern.
It's probably true, but I don't think that him having a bad passing game in the wild card round means he's gonna have a bad passing game every single step of
I
the way.
I don't think so at all. I think this is a guy who was rusty. He hadn't played football in a month, and his
There's
first live
also,
action is in the intense environment of a playoff
dude,
game where things
I'll
are moving
also
really
add
quick.
to that point. I'm gonna add to that is he's coming off a concussion. There's some like there's some hesitancy. Just like it makes sense why a player would play. Because to me, it looked like he was a little hesitant, not running, but throwing the ball. It looked like he was holding on to the ball, wasn't feeling like in a groove, and that might be the rust. It might be coming off concussion. There could be different things, but I think that he did seem very hesitant to throw the ball. He was hanging on. He was holding on a lot longer than he typically does, or most quarterbacks do, really.
Yeah, no, he definitely took, I think it was in the first half, he took one really bad sack that it was just like, dude, you had all day to just even throw it away. But he held on to it. He ended up taking a sack. Yeah, to me, he was just really rusty. I think that, like, he will be better next week. This is very similar to, like, the Panthers game where everybody freaked out and A.J. Brown said the passing wasn't good, and then they came out against the Steelers next week and they were completely dominant, threw it all over the field.
I'm with you.
Now, there's a couple things that I think had factored into that. One, I think the 10-0 start really changed things for them game plan wise. They became very conservative. I don't know why. I don't think they should have become conservative, but yeah, just some weird play calls. A lot of just like inside runs on third and 8, 3rd and 9, a couple like 3rd and 12s where they were doing.
They had like a 1/3 and long, and the fans started booing because they ran it up the middle.
Yeah. I mean, just I would like to see them throw it in that instance, obviously. But this is kind of the reason why I'm not freaking out that much. Listen, Hurts needs to be sharper. I think he will be sharper. I think we have a large enough sample size of him. Sometimes he has games like this, and sometimes like this, if you take a step back, like this has been the formula for the Philadelphia Eagles over the past however many weeks of the season. Since the bye week, since week 4, this is what they do. They suffocate you on defense. They run the ball down your throat. Jalen Hurts throws the ball 20 to 25 times. He doesn't have gaudy passing numbers. He'll make some really nice plays with his legs, and he'll make 2 or 3 plays passing-wise that help you win the game. And that's it. And I think the difference between this and, some of the games where they're putting up 28, 35 points is, he missed a couple throws. He definitely missed a couple throws, and he held onto the ball for a little bit too long. I actually think Green Bay's coverage was really good. Like when they were showing some of the wide shots of just the coverage downfield again, I thought that the routes were like just very odd and weird. But it didn't look like that many guys were open. He did look a little bit like zoned in on his first read too much. So
yeah,
I think that's going to get cleaned up. I think they're going to work on it this week in practice and have it fixed. One thing that Coach Sirianni has done very well since his first year here, when there has been an issue with the team, like they fix it. I remember just going back, they had a very bad penalty problem his first few weeks ever coaching. They had it cleaned up by like week 5. The passing thing that we had just mentioned, right? They couldn't pass the ball against the Panthers. They came out the next week and threw the ball all over the number 1 passing defense in the NFL. So I think kickoff coverage, right? This week, kickoff coverage was an issue for them towards the end of the year. They come out and they do a really good job on kickoff coverage. The slow starts, right? Really how many times did we say before, that they can't score in the first quarter? They never score. They start so slow, and now they've scored on their opening drive, like the past 6 games that they played in. So I feel very confident. I think that it was a good game for them to knock the rust off. And the good thing about the Eagles is that they're so talented that they can play their C- game and still thoroughly control and
that wasn't
win
a C-
a football
game though. It was like an A+ game for the defense and like a D game for the offense.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So it evens out to whatever, a C+ game. But
I'll give it a
there
B.
was still
a B game.
There was still
Anyway.
He still made some really nice plays. I mean, that the touchdown reception by Goddard was like one of the sickest plays I've seen in a really long time.
Ridiculous.
That's gonna, if they make a deep playoff run, that's gonna like live on in Philadelphia lore for a long time. But again, so credit to Hurts on this play. Here's another thing that you can give the coaching staff credit for is towards the end of last year, the thing was this team cannot handle a blitz. Specifically Hurts, they don't know what to do with the blitz. And on that touchdown pass, Hurts audibled that play because he saw that it was an all-out blitz coming. He audibled. He threw the ball to Goddard. Actually, wasn't a very good throw to Goddard. He had to make an adjustment on the catch, and then he just stiff armed
That was a
Valentine
crazy.
into
Yeah,
oblivion.
that was an
It was
awesome play.
awesome. Yeah, yeah, very, very, very cool, very exciting. So yeah, I think they're going to be better. They need to be better. Here's the thing though, like what I just can't stand is like everyone's dragging Hurts today, and it's like, yes, in theory, do I want to see him play better? Of course I do.
Yeah.
Is he going to have to throw the ball in order for them to win a Super Bowl? Is he gonna have to throw it better? Probably, but like again, this is how Philadelphia plays, man. And he's not Josh Allen. He's not Joe Burrow. And I don't give a damn if he's not Josh Allen or Joe Burrow. Like this team is built around the quarterback so that he can do his job at an elite level. He's never going to be Josh Allen. He's never going to be Joe Burrow. But can he throw well enough to win a Super Bowl? Absolutely. I saw him in the Super
Yeah.
Bowl 2 years ago go toe to toe with Patrick Mahomes and damn near almost win it. So I don't care if like they have these games where he's not putting up gaudy numbers as long as they're sticking to the formula. One thing he does not do, I know this is like kind of, I don't know, some people might say this is like weak or like loser kind of mentality, but like he does
Turn it
not
over.
turn the ball over. Like he
That's
just
big.
doesn't. It's huge. Look at the two
Yeah.
quarterbacks yesterday. Jalen Hurts had 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. Jordan Love, everybody loved Jordan Love because he beat the Cowboys in the playoffs last year. That was, remember we had someone on our podcast pick the Packers to win the Super Bowl, and it was because of Jordan Love.
Well, it couldn't
He
be
had
because of anything else.
right. He Jordan Love, everyone's favorite, threw no touchdowns and 3 picks
3
yesterday.
picks.
So
Yeah.
if Hurts, now look, the theory is, hey, he doesn't throw interceptions because he's not taking risks, right? He's not getting explosive plays. But in this game, they didn't need the big explosive play. They just didn't.
Hold on a second about this.
Had he just last thing, he didn't throw any interceptions or fumbles. Took a couple sacks, but protected the ball as he was going down. If he throws even one interception, like the game could be completely different. But they're taking care of the ball. They're playing safe. They're gonna open it up over the next week or two. Like I've seen it. I have confidence in it.
If they have to.
If they have, exactly. Yes, if they have to. If they don't, great. Be conservative.
Yeah.
Stick to the formula. Run the ball. Stop. Play tough defense, and don't turn the ball over. And you're gonna give yourself a shot to win every single game that way.
So I wanted to make a point about Eagles fans being upset about or worrying or focused. The time to view, to look at little things or look at not even little things, look at aspects of the game and be worried and be unhappy, be like, oh, this is a problem, going to be a problem. We need to get this fixed. Otherwise we can't win a Super Bowl. That's great when you're a great team during the regular season. Eagles fans could have done that. Once you're in the playoffs, who cares? Just win the game. You're now 2 wins away from getting.
Yeah.
You're 2 wins away from getting the Super Bowl. Just win. Who cares how you win?
Yep.
What makes you think that hurt? Like next game, you find a way to win a different way. Who really cares? Just win. I don't know why you'd be upset about a win. You're in the divisional round.
I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, man. Survive and advance. It's the playoffs.
Yeah, who cares how you do it? I do understand the concept. That's like you're saying. Yeah, like I want Hurts to play better. I'd feel better about it. But to be focused on that as a negative, that's just ridiculous.
Right. And here's the ultimate thing to kind of put a bow on it is like, I don't need him to be Josh Allen because the Eagles don't need him to be Josh Allen. Like,
the Bills need Josh Allen to be Josh Allen.
Josh Allen is the Buffalo Bills, right? Because if Josh Allen has a game like Jalen Hurts does yesterday, then they probably get smoked. And the Eagles are talented enough, and they play well enough, they play safe enough to where, again, they don't have to play their best game. Jalen Hurts does not have to play the best game and blow you away with numbers in order for them to win. So don't care. I wish Nakobe Dean was healthy, but the playoffs is about getting wins and staying as healthy as you possibly can and seeing what happens. And
do we want to talk about? Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say they have a good shot to make to the championship game.
For sure. Before we get into who they play in the divisional round and who you want them to play and all that, do you want to even touch on this A.J. Brown story?
Sure.
Because I didn't even pick up on it during the game. I must have been like looking away during the whole like the catch and reading and people. What's most of the national media and what's like Philadelphia media and fan base saying about this? Is this like a negative thing that people are saying?
Yes, I would say mostly people think it's negative.
Okay, but would they think it? And would they think it's if he was like caught like meditating or something or like doing yoga? Would that be negative? You think too?
But probably not. No.
Isn't that like the same thing though?
Dude, I think this AJ Brown book story is
It's hilarious.
the stupidest thing. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like,
it's very clear that he's reading to calm himself down. Like, it's very clear. Why would anyone do that in situation? It calms him down.
Right. He's like literally reading like a self-help like passage book, and like the scripture he was reading was basically like, hey, stay calm. Like it was like a very much a self-help like motivational, hey, keep a calm sense of mind.
And apparently this isn't the first game he's done it. He's done this a lot of times. It's just that a playoff game that the broadcast happens to catch and everybody freaks out. Like, oh, he doesn't care about the game. He just wants to read a book.
Exactly. So, but if he was on the sidelines, freaking out and throwing his helmet and cursing at his teammates, then that would have been one thing, right? But just one of the dumbest stories I can ever remember. And I saw somebody on it was I forget which show it was, but I saw it was Greg Jennings was saying this morning on TV, basically saying if one of my basically saying I'm a wide receiver, if one of my teammates did that, we wouldn't have had it, right? And it's like
I'd rip the book up and throw it away.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'd burn that book.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can't.
We don't read in football.
Yeah, in
football players don't read,
especially. Yeah. But he said something like, "Oh man, if he was having," he said something like, "Oh, if he had 150 yards and a touchdown, like he wouldn't be reading that book." And Jahan Dotson, the third receiver for the Eagles, posted on his I think it was on his Snapchat or Instagram, like a picture of AJ Brown reading that book at Washington this year. And then he posted AJ Brown's stats like right after it, and it was like 8 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, so just
that's awesome. I like that a teammate of his did that. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, just the dumbest thing ever, and I can't believe that people like are talking about it. He
even if he wouldn't do that, if he's having a great game because he doesn't need to calm himself down, that's fine too.
Right, but it's like just. And look, I get it. He's a superstar, and if he's not having a good game, the camera's gonna fly. Like I understand it to some extent, but the reaction to it is just so ridiculous.
This is what I talk about.
They're acting like he was reading like a comic book of like Batman, and he's just trying to like escape this. Like he's not. He's saying, hey, keep a calm mind. Like everything's gonna be okay. Like,
yeah, and everyone thinks they're like a mental health expert. Like if what him reading means that what it means. Yeah,
right.
Ridiculous. Right. All right, so let's move on past that. Obviously, you knew I thought that was ridiculous too. I mean,
okay, good. I'm glad.
So
I thought you were going to say he's soft.
Only idiots read.
He's a self-help book on the sideline.
Get him an iPad.
Guy would never survive New York. Could you imagine being in New York reading a book on the sideline? Oh my god!
Yeah, I actually can't imagine being on a New York football team reading a book in a playoff game. It's hard to imagine.
Yeah, sure.
All right, next up, you got the winner of the Vikings and Rams are playing as we are recording this. Did it start yet? It didn't start yet.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Who would you rather face? Basically, you gave it away already earlier in the episode. You said
no. I don't think we were recording when I did that, but
okay, give it away now.
So one, I'd like to thank the Washington Commanders for ousting the Buccaneers. I said last week that I was terrified of the Buccaneers, and I'm very glad that the Eagles don't have to play them next week. Listen, some guys are like, this is kind of a this.
Say it.
I want to preface it by saying this.
No, just say it.
I want to preface it by saying this.
No, just say it.
This is going to go down. This can go down in like my rule book of being a fan. So that's why I'm prefacing it, because this is important.
What rule number is this?
This is rule number 12.
All right, rule number 12 of
Rule
being
number
a fan.
12. Some people want to play the toughest teams to get to the championship game and tough
Oh,
road.
so
Dude,
no. Come on.
give
Oh,
me the layup,
no,
man. Give
no.
me the easier team all day. Are you kidding me? Of course I want to play the Rams. Of course, the Rams
Hold on a second.
suck. Are
Hold
you
on. Can we take a
kidding
step
me?
back? No, let's take a step back for a second. Let's take a step back for a second. I completely agree with your point. You should want to play the team that you think is the easiest for your team to beat.
Thank you.
Completely agree with that. I don't know why you'd want to. I want to go through the toughest schedule. That's ridiculous.
It's
That's ridiculous.
so stupid. So
No,
stupid.
it's
This
so
is
stupid.
wow. This is one of the rare things that you agree with me on. Like,
Oh, I don't agree with you on
fan-wise.
the next part though.
About wanting to play the
Okay,
Rams.
no, actually, no. I agree with you. I don't care enough for other people to feel the same way though. Like it doesn't bother me that other people. That's the difference between me and you. We agree on the concept that's ridiculous. You should just want your team to play the easiest team that gives them the best chance to win. You want them to
Yes.
keep winning, survive in advance. We talked about this,
Yeah.
but I don't care that other fans do that. Like,
Oh, I think
okay,
it's so dumb. And I understand that if they do get the harder team and they do end up winning, then yeah, it's a more
it's
sweet
more
feeling,
gratifying.
right?
It's more
Yes, it's
gratifying.
more
Yeah.
gratifying. Like when the
Okay.
Eagles when they beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl in 2017,
Oh, it's
I
amazing.
would, dude. I wanted, but before that happened, I was rooting so hard for the Jacksonville Jaguars
Of
in
course you
the
were.
championship game, and yeah, looking back, it was great. But yeah, I would rather have the easiest path. I'm still gonna buy the championship T-shirt. I'm gonna remember it forever. So
Oh, let's not get ahead of yourself.
give me
Okay.
the easier team. No, just as a general rule,
I know.
right?
I'm joking. All right. Here's the thing I disagree with you on. You thinking that the Bucks would be a more difficult opponent than either the Vikings or the Rams. The Bucks are really not a good team this year. We're losing to the Saints. They almost didn't make the playoffs last week of the season. I mean, they went 10-7. The fact that they lost to Washington shows that they're not that great of a team. They had one healthy, great receiver, and that was pretty much their offense. I don't think the Bucks are very good. I think the Eagles would have destroyed them.
You think so? Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So
don't think they're going to destroy the Vikings if the Vikings win. I think that would be a really, really tough game.
I very much
You want
agree
the
with
Rams.
you. I want the Rams wholeheartedly. I don't think the Rams are going to win, but I'm certainly rooting for them.
I hope they don't.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I have $580 on the line, so I really
yeah,
hope they don't.
yeah. I definitely want the Rams to come to Philadelphia. The Bucks. I just think it's as simple as, for whatever reason, the Bucks do really well against Jalen Hurts against the Eagles, and the last time that we played them was a long time ago. It was in September, but they absolutely lit them up.
Yeah, but
And
the
and
Eagles
they
were
just have
not.
they
The
just
Eagles weren't the same team, though. They're not. That's
uh,
not the team they are.
of course, it just again seems like that coaching staff has a good answer for what the Eagles try to do. Probably would have rather played them than Minnesota, but it's close. Yeah, Minnesota is scary
Whoa,
just
that's
because of
crazy.
yeah, I mean, I'm just terrified of the Vikings skill guys. I think that they're obviously Jefferson is probably the best receiver in football. Maybe next to
I'd agree
Jamar
with that.
Chase.
I'd say
Um,
Jefferson's the best receiver in football.
yeah, I agree. Addison's really good. Number two, Hawkinson's really good. I think Aaron Jones. I've been super impressed with Aaron Jones this year. Not that I've watched
He's
a
looked
ton
really
of Vikings
refreshed.
games, but he looks spry as ever. Like he looks. I know in theory the Packers upgraded at running back going from him to Jacobs, but I don't know. When I watched him, I was really impressed. So
It
um,
wasn't up. Jacobs is better.
yeah,
Jacobson could do more and is more durable and more versatile. But
yeah.
they're both great players.
Both really good. Vikings defense is very good. So yeah, bring me the Rams. That would be great. I am not afraid of a 32-year-old Cooper Cup, and we're going to disagree on this right now. So you don't even have to respond to this.
I'm going to respond. What is
I'm
it?
so not a Puka Nakua guy, dude. I mean, are you kidding me? Guys think this
Oh,
guys think this guy is good. It's like,
No,
oh my
okay, all right.
god,
I know
no,
why
no,
you
no,
don't think he's
we're
good. You don't
not.
think he's
No,
good because of his name. You
no,
don't think he's
that's
good
not
because of his name.
true. No,
Yeah,
it's
it
not
is.
true. No,
He has
it's
a
not.
weird name. I can't. I
No,
can't. I
it's not.
can't accept him as being
Nope,
good.
nope,
What kind of name
nope,
is Nakua? What
nope,
kind of name is
nope,
Puka?
nope.
Yeah, that's why.
I don't think he's good because I watch the games and I don't go based on
You don't watch
fantasy
that
football
much game. Come
stats.
on. You don't watch that many games. Stop. You just
I
say you don't.
watch more games
You
than
don't.
people, people think that he puts up fantasy football points and that he's this great receiver, and he's just not. Like, he's just not. So
Well, they are.
I'm
They're not the
totally out
same.
on Nakua.
They're not equal. But it's not just fantasy points that make him good. But anyway, I don't. I don't. I mean, he's last year he had an amazing season. I'm not. I don't really want to argue with you
He
about Puka
sucks.
Nakua.
He is
I agree
he
that.
gets a million targets and he plays with a very
But
creative offensive play caller and a quarterback who's seen everything and can get him the ball in stride.
so
That's
he's
what
a.
that's
So he's. But okay. But that would mean from your Eagles' perspective that he'd be a concern, not because of how good he is individually, but how good he is in that system with a quarterback with the weapons around them. So you'd be concerned going against him because he is successful, even if you don't think it's because of him.
no, I wouldn't be. Now listen, we need to cut this
Doesn't
out of
make
the
any sense.
podcast because the last
Why?
time I did something like this, it was Drake
No,
London and he
we're
ended
not
up
cutting it out. We're
he
not
caught
cutting
the
it out.
game-winning touchdown pass in week 2
Oh,
against
that's
the
right.
Eagles. So
That's right.
Puka's
I forgot
great.
about
He's the
that.
best receiver I've ever seen in my life. I'm so worried about him and
Yeah,
Cooper
you
Kupp.
should really be careful. You did a good job there by recovering. You
Thank
you
you,
you
thank you.
saved yourself
He's the best. You're all right.
because he would go off for 220 yards now.
He would. He actually
Yeah.
had when the Eagles played the Rams earlier this year. I think he had a big game. He had I think he had over 100
No,
yards.
you're not worried about him.
I'm not. No, go
So
ahead. They were
funny.
down. They were down by 30 points the whole time. Just chucking.
Anyway, I do agree about the weapons. I think Addison and Justin Jefferson are really, really dangerous.
Yeah, totally.
So, and Hawkinson, pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with that. I don't necessarily agree that the Bucs would have been a better opponent for the Eagles than the Vikings, but it's a moot point because that's not what's going to happen.
Yeah. Do you know who the Vikings backup quarterback is going to be for tonight's game?
Daniel Jones.
Our old pal Daniel Jones, dude.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't see the field.
I know.
You agree with that though, right? You don't want him to see the field.
Daniel Jones?
You want him to see the field next week.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so yeah, I think the Vikings are real. I think it's gonna be I think the Vikings would be a really tough game.
Yeah, I do too. I still would probably think the Eagles would win, but
I mean, they'll be favored. They'll be home, but the Vikings went 14-3. I mean,
yeah.
like they're not a normal. What are they? 5 seed?
Yeah, definitely.
That's not. Yeah, that's not. They're not a normal 5 seed.
Yep.
All right. Anything else on the Eagles?
I don't think so. No, excited. I'm
Should be.
fired up, man. I'm pumped up. I'm super happy.
Oh, next Sunday, whoever they play, they're playing next Sunday at 3:00. Is that a little bit better for you, or you still have to record that?
A little bit. I'd still have to record it though. It's just not. I'd rather not like watch 45 minutes of the game
Pause
and
it,
then
and then
yeah, yep. But yeah, watching it, I didn't get. I don't know if I said this on the pod or it was before we started recording, but yeah, I didn't get to start watching the Eagles game till around 8:30 last night. 8:30 last night. So I didn't finish the game till around 11. And right as the game was ending, there was 55 seconds in the Buccaneers game that I got to watch. So pretty crazy. Hey,
it's crazy
good for Washington, man. I mean, 19 years between playoffs.
You know what I think is crazy?
That's pretty crazy.
That is crazy. But you know what I really think is crazy? How you talk about other teams and then other people don't watch them while you basically watch 50 seconds of the rest of the week. The rest of the wild card round games.
55 seconds.
Did you watch the other games?
I watched some of them, yeah.
Well, so what'd you watch? Do you watch Texans?
I watched a little bit of that one. Yeah, I didn't watch any of the Bills game. So yeah, I watched Chargers Texans a little bit, obviously the Eagles game, the end of the Bucks game, and yeah, I'll definitely watch probably the first half of the Rams Vikings game. I'll see Nakua get all his yardage in the first half here.
You watched any of the Ravens game Saturday night?
I did. Yeah, that was kind of boring though.
Yeah, that was. I mean, well, there was only one close game all week so far.
Yeah.
The first 5 games. The Eagles game was
Mhm.
kind of close, but it didn't feel that close.
Yeah, it was
And the
close
final score wasn't
for yeah, it was close for a little bit there. But the Eagles, I think they held, they pretty much maintained control for the entire game.
Yeah. Having had a money line bet on them, I didn't really feel concerned at any point.
Great.
All right, one last thing we want to get to. This is not Eagles based. This is Mike McCarthy out as the Cowboys coach, and Mike Vrabel, the Patriots.
Yeah.
Impact on the Jets.
Mike McCarthy, JETS.
I'm in.
You should be in.
You know what's so I
Oh
asked.
my God, I'd even make the Aaron Rodgers connection. Could you imagine?
Yeah. I think it's great. Let's do it.
Think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rodgers, I know they had that their issues like 7 years ago, but Rodgers talks glowingly about McCarthy. The last couple of years, he's talked a lot of like really the great things that he says about him, like what he's said in the clubhouse. He uses a lot of sayings. He's like, "Oh, Mike McCarthy used to say this," and he like says it all the time, like in press conferences, and yeah. I'm all in on that. I like because I talk to Jets fans and they're all a lot of them say, "Oh, well, like kind of like the Brad Dalius type thing, like, oh, look at all his playoff losses," and I'm like, please. Like
Right?
one of my Jets fan friends goes, "Oh, he gets embarrassed in the playoffs." I'm like, in order to get embarrassed in the playoffs, not only do you have to make the playoffs, but you have to have high expectations going into the game.
Yeah. Yep.
How could a Jets fan be like, I'm worried about getting embarrassed in the playoffs?
Yeah. Beggars can't be choosers.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I think he would be actually a stable coach, and he also has experience dealing with a meddling owner.
Right. He's had great success. They had some really good years in Dallas when he was there, right? Very good years.
Two 12-win seasons.
Yeah.
He's made the playoffs 12 out of 18 years as a head coach. I mean,
this year they got ravaged with injuries,
and they still were competitive.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm in. I mean, I'd rather Tomlin leave the Steelers and get Tomlin, but
oh yeah, it's a good idea. Now, can either of those guys handle the New York media? You have to view this through the lens of the New York media. You know this.
It's a good running joke you have here. Yes, they can handle the one extra microphone and the one reporter that I was about to say stupid reporter, but I guess that's not that nice. So ask a question.
I think they should go for Rex, man. Rex Ryan he's ready to go.
That'd be the most entertaining.
You think?
Option.
What they should do? McCarthy head coach, Rex Ryan defensive coordinator. Yep.
Who should be the OC?
Hackett.
Oh God.
No, they should just get the quarterbacks coach from the Lions and bring him in as their
promote him to OC. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
the quarterback whisperer.
Whisper
to Goff. Anyway, Eagles divisional round. We will be back Sunday at 3. We'll be back next week talking about the Eagles going to the AFC title game.
NFC.
I said AFC?
Yes.
I've been misspeaking a lot in the last couple of episodes. NFC title game.
Okay. All right.
That'd be something if they made the AFC title game.
Yeah. Imagine that.
All right. AJ Brown, do some more reading. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Sports and culture all in one. Catch the fire, feel the fun. Andrew